afternoon, everyone. My name is GlenNeta Griffin, and welcome to the Next Level Business panel. This is powered by the Georgia Micro Enterprise Network, and we are so excited to have you guys today. The big topic today, money. How do you get the financial assistance that you need to start and grow your business? That's everybody's question, right? How do I get to the money? How do I find the money so I can get in business and stay in business? And that's exactly what we want for all of you guys. So again, GlenNeta Griffin, and we're going to jump right in. So I want you to meet your panelists today. They are amazing at what they do, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So we'll just start with Adam Smith. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you, GlenNeta, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm so delighted to have this opportunity to spend this very short hour with you, but to also provide you with some very valuable information. And I am just delighted to have the co-panelists with us, and I'm hopeful that you'll benefit from some of the information that they will be able to share with you as well. Like GlenNeta said, I'm Adam Smith. I am the Chief Operating Officer for GMEN. And I've been on board for a few months now, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my opportunity with the organization. I'm a lawyer by training, have a wealth of government procurement experience, and so what I bring to the table and to this webinar is a discussion on being able to find financial support to help financially support your business. So welcome to all of you. Glad you're here. And again, I hope that this is beneficial to you in some way. Thank you.
Awesome. And we just had Elizabeth Wilson log in. Liz, if you want to say anything, just go ahead and jump in and just let me know if you want to extend a welcome or anything on behalf of GMEN. Next, we are going to have Angela R. Walton. She is our NAVGA Hub Officer. Angela, go ahead and tell them a little bit about your background.
Sure. Thank you, GlenNeta. Thank you for hosting this event. I am so excited to be here. Similar to Adam, I am just glad to be a part of the Georgia Micro Enterprise Network family. I am an electrical engineer by trade from the University of Tennessee, go Vols. And I have worked in that industry. I worked as an electrical engineer with supervisory control and data acquisition, fueling logistics. And so one of the things that most people say about engineers, we're not so friendly, we don't really know how to talk, but I found my niche in that I could explain those complex subjects and be able to write the manuals, all the maintenance manuals, all the standard operating procedures, everything that had to do with the business of an electrical system. And so with that, it sort of morphed into grant writing. It morphed into a writing expedition, and that is how I sort of got with GMEN early on. So I currently serve as the NAVGA officer. That's the branded name of the Community Navigator Pilot Program that we are funded by the Small Business Administration. And so I'm just happy to be here with you. We offer lots of things, and I'm sure GlenNeta will ask me about them later, but we're excited also to have Mr. Gideon Fields, who's going to come right after me, but he is one of the newest members of the NAVGA family, and this is all about finance, and so we are just excited to have him with us today as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Angela. And last but certainly not least, we have our financial consultant, Gideon Fields. Gideon, go ahead and tell them a little bit about your background.
Thank you so much, GlenNeta, and thank you to my esteemed panelists. I'm very excited to be, working with an amazing and dynamic team such as yourselves. So my background is that I've been in finance for the better part of 20 years, managing over 2 billion to 20 billion in assets for clients under management and helping startups grow from 0 to 100 million. And I also done middle market mergers and acquisition. So I really have a passion for helping individuals grow their business, making their dreams come true. And it's very, very fortunate to be part of GMEN and NAVGA. And I hope to help whoever I can. Thank you so much for your time.
Awesome. So we'll jump right in, guys. If you have a question, please place it in the chat box at the bottom. We're going to put those in between and make sure we get all of your answers as today, all those questions that you're looking for. Also, I pulled two stats before we jump into our first question. So, and then you guys tell me what you think about this. So first, according to a US bank study, 82% of business failures are due to poor cash flow management or poor understanding of how cash flow contributes to business. That's one. And the second one is, according to Investopedia, the 4 most common reasons why small businesses fail are lack of sufficient capital, poor management, inadequate business planning, and overblowing their marketing budgets. What are your thoughts about that? Any one of you?
I'll start. Well, I think, the way the banking system works and the way the banking system works for small business is they want to lend to people who don't need the money, unfortunately. And so understanding when you start that there are 2 vital things that you need to do is establish your business credit, and your individual credibility has to be just as strong and just as vital to understand those components in order to be viable for either lending, opportunities to sit with people and understand how they can help you. So I think that's a vital component. And I would absolutely 1,000% agree with that statistic that cash flow is the biggest issue, because sometimes it's not that you don't have a successful business. It could be the one valley that happens in a 10-year time frame of your business that can destroy your business. So having a good understanding of that, having good savings practices are vital to maintaining the health of a business.
Wow.
And if I may add, just to add what Gideon said, and I think is very prominent with what he stated, one of the things that I'd always like to highlight with entrepreneurs and small businesses is making sure that your documents are in order. And I talked a bit about this at our last webinar. It's so important that you maintain good records so that you're able to do whatever proper forecasting that you need to do, so that you're able to really, the bottom line, follow the money to make sure that you're supporting your business financially accordingly. But more importantly, if you go to a lender, particularly if there's commercial lending opportunities for you, they're going to want to see those documents, and they're going to want to see and follow to make sure that you are keeping proper records of all of your financial records. So to sort of capitalize on what Gideon stated, I think also not only having your credit in order, your personal credit as well as your business credit, but have the documentation and all of the information to support that. If the financial institution or wherever you're going to try to obtain a loan or funding or whatever type of lending, if they require additional information to support, that information.
And if I could just back as well, am I echoing?
I don't know where that feedback is. So I'm just going to mute everyone else and see if that helps. Go ahead.
A shameless plug for, not shameless, for the NAVGA program. And when we're talking about those documents, that's why we exist, to help you understand how to keep those documents started, how to keep them maintained, and we offer free technical assistance to do that. Now, we're not going to do it for you, but we're going to guide you through it so that you can continue that and do those things on a regular basis. And what I would like to add, this is a time frame. You mentioned the cash flow. We know that the pandemic created a situation for an uncountable number of small businesses. And so one of our program partners was able to provide money for a legacy business. This business had been in business over 25 years in Albany, Georgia. And they fell upon hard times like many of us did in that in that time frame. And this group was able to provide some micro lending opportunities that reduced the amount of interest rate and to get them over the hump so they could get through those years. And so just making certain that you are partner with organizations that can help you do that is going to be paramount in keeping your businesses sustained.
Good stuff. And Angela, while you're already on, go ahead, Becca, unmute for me. I'm going to segue that first question into you. So the big question, where can I find financial assistance for my business? And the thing is that everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people think that financial assistance just means a loan, but there are other, avenues of financial assistance for your business. So if you would tell us, one, what is NAVGA? What does it stand for? And what exactly, like what kind of financial assistance you actually offer?
Sure, great. So NAVGA is just an acronym. It's not an acronym, I'm sorry. It really stands for Navigating Georgians, and specifically navigating Georgians through entrepreneurship. That's our goal. And we're here to assist the underserved entrepreneurial community with high quality technical assistance. And we're going to help them thrive. We're going to level the playing field because we recognize that there have been underserved women, people of color, disabled persons, veterans, people in rural communities. So our goal in the state of Georgia is to get around and help those underserved communities get their needs met. Specifically around the area of finance, we have bankers on board, we have micro lenders on board, and so how do you get to these financial assistance? One is to meet someone like Mr. Gideon Fields, who can help talk you through some of that. And everyone doesn't need the same thing. One size does not fit all. Micro lenders have less stringent, what's the terminology I want to use? Requirements when it comes to lending. Credit scores may not need to be as high with micro lenders as they would with a US bank or a Chase Bank. Then there's opportunities that people love grants. And I want to be clear, everyone doesn't need a grant. And when it comes to your small business, you have to be able to put some skin in the game. And so though you will talk to us about grants and we'll have some of those conversations, every company, every lender wants you to have some skin in. And when we do that, we need to match up with folks that are able to help you understand what that means and how to get there. And so that's why we have folks like Gideon Fields on our team and other bankers and micro lenders on our team to help you get your needs met as a small business.
Awesome.
I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when we finish this question, I'm going to go over to Stephen Blackman, who has an audience question. But Gideon, do you want to weigh in on that? Where can you find the financial assistance for your business? Go ahead and unmute for me.
Yes. So I think, thank you, Angela, for that awesome answer to the question. I think there are many ways to get financial assistance, and it depends on the life cycle of your business where you acquire that assistance. So as Angela suggested, there are grants available, but sometimes the grants through the government, from the NIH, areas like the Department of Transportation. I helped one client. She had a daycare facility that had been open, I believe, about 10 to 15 years. And she was able to get two grants, one from Google for $100,000 and another from the Department of Education for $150,000 to make some improvements, add computers, beautify the property, help with education materials. So it really depends on the type of business you have, understanding where the opportunities lie, and the 100% most important thing, which Adam really touched on, is having the documents in order. And if you're not a great document person, having either a member of your team or having subject matter experts like NAVGA, GMEN help you with understanding how to capitalize on having your documents and your story in order. So I think, the thing that is most important when dealing with the business is the story. Who are you? Why are you have this business? And why did you get in business? Those are fundamental to your growth and success.
Awesome. So Stephen Blackman, thank you, Stephen, for being here. He said, thank us for being here. We thank you for being here. If your personal credit is not the best due to old things, are there any other strategies you suggest to move towards acquiring business funds? Gideon, do you want to touch on that?
Sure. Many people, life is a journey, not a destination. So we've all had bumps in the road, valleys and peaks. So what's really important is to show that you are working towards improving your credit by dealing with the lenders or the individuals who you owe credit to. So getting that information in order, having communication and talking with them. Sometimes it's about working with them and getting a plan to get your credit in order. So it's really just having a plan, talking to individuals who do credit repair, or just doing some research about repairing your credit. So I think that's important to try to get on the right path.
Absolutely. Adam, do you want to add in anything on that? I think you're still muted, sir.
Sorry about that, had a technical difficulty. But I just want to, again, highlight some of the things that Gideon did say about making sure that your credit is in order, but also to share with you that there are programs out there, not just credit building, credit repair programs, but also programs similar to NAVGA and similar to another GMEN program, TAP 2 GMEN, where we will sit with you and sort of help you navigate through building your credit and helping you to find ways to improve your credit. So don't just rely solely on the credit repair companies and bureaus that are out there that provide that. Look for community-based programs and community opportunities where they provide that kind of program service to you to help you build or rebuild and establish credit in some ways.
So let me ask, yeah, go ahead, Angela.
Well, and it's not only, but one of our partners, clearly Gideon has that expertise, but one of the partners, the spokes as we call them with NAVGA, is Operation Hope. And they have financial well-being coaches. And I just want to give a shout out to Kimberly Lawson, who is the financial well-being coach that's a part of the NAVGA consortium. And she's on because she has an 8-week program by which they talk about credit and credit counseling. And so by all means, stay in contact with us. We have the resources that you need to get where you want to go. And Stephen Blackman, if you're in our system, we'd love to match you up with some folks to get you closer to what you might be interested in, and I'm sure you might be asking for others as well, but we're here to help.
Yeah, and if I can just say this sort of as a commentary, we all have credit issues, credit problems. And I've encountered some entrepreneurs and business owners who were a little bit shy about admitting that, hey, I've got some credit issues. Well, join the game. That's a part of the process. I mean, we all have bumps and bruises and problems throughout our entrepreneurship lives. And so if you do have those issues, it's okay. That's why the organizations are here to help you. To help you navigate through establishing or rebuilding or creating credit or some form of other credit for you. So don't be shy about it. Utilize and take advantage of those organizations that are out there who can help you, with your credit issues.
Yeah, and I really think that credit is always a big issue, and I would love to see us either put together a panel or a class on corporate credit or building your business credit, because a lot of people don't know the difference between using your personal credit and keeping it completely separate from your business credit. So all of my experts on this panel, let's work that together, because we definitely need something on credit or pull some of those experts together as well. Let's jump into our next question. How long do you have to be in business to get financial assistance? Anybody?
Well, I'll start. And that's a very good question. And some businesses shy away from seeking credit because they've only been in business for a year. But surprisingly, 1 to 3 years is kind of a starting point. And a lot of lenders, a lot of lending programs, a lot of community-based lending programs will look for that 1 to 3 year of being in business. And of course, your more conventional lending institution, your banks and much more formal institutions of providing lending will probably want more, but that's not always the case. So it's been my experience that at least 1 to 3 years of business experience for your community-based lending programs and other organizations that provide loans to entrepreneurs and small businesses. For your more conventional lending institutions, it may be a little more, 5 years, 3 to 5, but it really depends on the lending institution. That's been my experience.
Angela, how long, so with NAVGA, how long do you have to be in business in order to get some type of financial assistance with NAVGA?
A couple of our partners, spokes as we call them, are actually CDFIs, which are the Community Development Financial Institutions. I don't have all of the stats on that, but I would echo Adam regarding the amount of time. And I know Adam is being, what's the word, humble about it, but I would even venture to say potentially 1 year with some programs that are coming out of the GMEN boat. And I know that he can talk about that a little later, but that's some exciting news for new business owners, potentially.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Gideon, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I would echo everyone's answers. It takes about 1 to 3 years. And some lenders, you have to at least be at a 3-year on a more conventional, but there are many programs in the suite of services that NAVGA and GMEN offer that may be able to help you. Also, I wanted to say that, the basics of credit for an individual is that you should have at least 2 credit cards and at least 2 business credit cards. And for business, try to get a secured line of credit if you can, and not to have balances, right? To pay them off and pay them down as quickly as possible to grow your wealth. And it's a great way to also repair your credit if you need to as well.
And pay them on time. In order to build that credit, you got to pay it on time.
Yeah,
that's like one of the
absolutely.
biggest factors. Let's talk about some of the things that you need on that checklist in order to get financial assistance or even loans. So I know you have to, have the number of years that you're in business. You got to have, goodness, the paperwork, y'all, the financial paperwork. You got to have your paperwork in order. But the size of your company, how many employees, credit scores, and then your monthly revenue. So do you guys want to add anything to that? Like what all would you need to have in order before you even think about applying for financial assistance? Adam?
All of that, all of that that you mentioned. Again, I'm a stickler on having documents and maintaining your documents, because so much of what we do is document intensive. And that's really how we apply for a lot of things, by submitting documents. And so if you are a small business entrepreneur, make sure that you document everything that you do from an organizational standpoint, managing your business from hiring and maintaining and retaining employees, from all of your financial information that you have, making sure that you have good bookkeeping services that you work with, or a good bookkeeper who can work with you, or that you have a great accountant who can advise you accordingly to make sure that your documents are in order. But I can't speak enough about advising you and making sure that your documents are in order. Never assume that you don't need something, that you don't need to keep a record of your insurance payments or your rental payments or your lease payments. Keep all of that in notebook form or somewhere where you're able to get it and be able to produce it almost instantly when you apply for lending.
Awesome. And just let me jump in real quick. Atasha Murray, thank you for being here. She wanted the contact information for NAVGA, and I just put that in the chat. It is nav-ga.org. There's a lot of information there that can help you. So please grab it from the chat and feel free to visit the website. Or if you have any questions for Angela, we have her right here, y'all. So hopefully you can get those questions answered today. All right, y'all, let's keep jumping in. So what about how much money you need for your business? I love this question because that is like, yeah, Angela, do you want to, you look excited to answer this question. Angela, go ahead and unmute for me. Like that
So
is
that
one of
was
the
not
big questions.
excitement in answering the question. That is a great question. And Adam could speak to this. Just recently on last Friday, we were at an in-person event and helping with a certain demographic concerning starting a business. And I say this, and I have to be careful because, again, if you're not willing to put money in your business, why would anybody do that? That's just like asking for a free lunch every day of the week, and you're able to make your lunch yourself. So I want to say, regarding that question, I would love to hear from Gideon, because if it's a new business and you've done your homework, you've gotten the marketing plan, you've gotten the business plan, you've really identified who your demographic, who you're going to serve, who's going to be your clients, then if that's robust enough, I'd love to know Gideon's answer to this. Like, hey, I know people need this. I've been maybe doing this 15 years with another company. I'm venturing out on my own. I have the expertise personally, but I'm starting this business on my own today. Gideon, can I get finance because I'm a new business?
You can, but it's a lot of legwork, right? So there's, I think, three principal ways that businesses get funded: self-funding, institutional funding, and credit funding. So, self-funding, family funding is probably the most prevalent in most communities. Institutional funding is having investors enjoy your idea and invest in your idea. And then the credit funding is the typical go to the bank and get a loan, or go to community funding vehicles like NABGA and GMEN. So I think it's really important to have a great foothold of your industry, what you want to accomplish, and how you want to accomplish it. I've seen people who have hot dog stands, and they have several hot dog stands around the community they reside in, and they're netting $1 million a year in revenue, right? But I've also seen people with very expensive boutiques downtown who are losing money every month. So it's really about understanding your business model, and the number one priority is product market fit. Who does my customer look like, and how can I capture that customer? So those all dictate how much funding you're going to need. But typically, whatever funding you need to buy your product and resell it, you want to think about multiplying that by 3. The reason why I say that is because the way a business works, and this is very simplified understanding, is that you have to have a marketing budget, you have to have an operation budget, and then you have a budget for either taxes or regulatory, or what would be considered the regulatory budget. And so if you think about that, whatever product you said, let's say it's a designer jeans that you're selling, it's just not what you made off those designer jeans. You have to think, well, what about the time I took to figure out how to sell this? What about the transportation costs to get to somebody to sell these to? What about the gas prices? Or all these things are very important to think about in the operation. So I would really, really think that that's one of the most important steps, is understanding what you need to accomplish where you want to go.
And if I can just add, GlenNeta, what Gideon just described will be all the components that would go in your business plan. And that's basically what he described. Now, we will be doing a webinar later on helping you to, or at least looking at components of a business plan. But you can't really start a business, promote a business, get funding, operate a business without some form of business plan. It is absolutely essential. What Gideon described are those key components of your business plan. I recommend when you do some business plans that you do feasibility studies. Is it feasible to really do this product in this area, or to sell this product, or to do this service? And then there are some demographic studies that I would recommend. What's my demographics going to be like? Who is going to be my targeted audience to sell this product or to deliver this service to? So all of that really is a part of creating some financial stability and making sure that you've got the financial support you need, or will go get the financial support you need based on the foundation that you put together in your business plan.
Awesome. And I wanted to add a few components if you're just starting out, or you're just wondering, what else should I factor into that money or that number that I'm looking for? So your supplies and your inventory, equipment, rent, building expenses, utilities, your vehicles, your mileage, insurance, internet service, furniture, marketing and advertising, training, professional fees, that's your accountant, that's your lawyer, that's your financial consultant, and your payroll. So these are all things. I know that was a whole lot. I would definitely, make sure you guys get all of that. But when you speak to your financial consultant, that is something that you want to make sure that you are factoring all that stuff in, because that's what you need to run. And Adam, you actually answered our next question, which was, do you need a business plan to get financial assistance? And yeah, Angela's like, let me talk about this business plan. No, go ahead, Angela. Go ahead and unmute for me.
Before we talk about the business plan, I wanted to touch on a couple of things. I was trying to give the information about what Gideon shared. I did get that in the chat, but Stephen has a follow-up question, and I would love for us to address that. I just want to elevate his question. So GlenNeta, if you would. And again, and I'll read it, because these are the words that I use in reference to the skin in the game aspect. Do lenders consider the money you have already invested, or are they only concerned with what you have to put in at the time you're asking for funds? If you put in $100,000 over the last few years, but don't have much personally today, does that count? I have an answer personally, but I am not a financial professional. Gideon, please take the mic.
So the answer is yes and no. So and Adam, I think, touched on this. It really depends on the lender and who you're sitting in front of. So a community bank is far more amicable in understanding what you put in. Individuals that you're going to interact with GMEN and NAVGA, they have a much more fundamental understanding of the rigors of small business. Typically, a conventional banking institution, they want to see what you have to put up in the table now. So if you even sometimes when you go for a SBA loan, let's say you're starting a franchise and you want to, get a SBA loan, which is very typical, and sometimes when you're starting a franchise, it's much easier to find financing than just a regular business. So they want you to put in anywhere from 10 to 20% of the assets. So it really is contingent on the type of financing, what you're using the financing for. So if you're buying equipment, people are much more interested in lending to equipment because they feel like it's a secured back asset. People are less likely to, fund startup costs. They're much more likely to fund, renting a building or buying a building. So it's really contingent on what you need the funds for and the return that you're going to receive for that funding and financing.
Awesome. So the next big question, of course, now we already know that you must have a business plan. The next question I'm going to spin off is, why do you need a business plan in order to apply for funding or financial assistance for your business? Who wants to take that first?
Well, I think we've talked about it. I mean, we sort of mentioned all of the things that you need to get the funding that you need for your business. But a business plan paints a picture of your business and what you're trying to do. It gives a lender sort of like a whole picture of what your financial goals are going to be, what your organizational goals are going to be, what your marketing goals are going to be. And so it paints that picture to create some comfort level to a lender, and it informs that lender that, okay, this is a solid business or a business in which I'd want to make an investment. And so I think more than anything else, in order for you to go out and get any type of funding for your business, you got to have a business plan that will paint that picture of what you're trying to do. One of the things that I wanted to mention also, when GlenNeta, you talked about the list of things that you got to have as a part of your financial forecast, and this is something that we're seeing and have seen on the rise over the past few years, and that is to make sure that you budget, you put in your business plan, you put in your financial forecasting a line item for technology. So much of what we're doing now is what we're doing right now, or virtual business, or virtual interaction, or virtual transaction. And if you don't have the framework to support that and to be able to do that, then it's going to drastically affect your business, because so many businesses are now almost 90% to 100 virtual. So keep that in mind, as well as I know I kind of stepped out of bound here and in talking about line item things, but technology is so crucial to everything that we do these days. And oftentimes when you're going to pursue a loan, you may never see the lender in person. It may all be online or virtual. And so just keep that in mind to make sure that your technology is important as well.
Awesome. Does anyone else want to add to that?
Well, I think fundamentally the reason why business plans are vital is that when people are investing in, or when they are lending to you, right? You may have a staff of 100 people or a staff of 2, you and your spouse, but they're essentially investing in you. And what they want to see in that business plan is that you've had a thoughtful and decision-based approach to how you think that business is going to succeed. 60% of new businesses fail. The best way to not fail is to have a plan that is as detailed and definitive as possible, because I think it's Mike Tyson said, we all have a plan until we get punched in the face, right? And so a lot about business is the war of attrition, being able to survive the downtimes and being able to move forward and push forward. So that's what's really important. So if you have a plan for those downtimes, because they're owning and running a business, it's really about staying the course of the game and being able to do it financially. And so a business plan hopefully maps that out for you and gives the people on the other side of the table understanding that you have viably decided to make strong decisions on what it means to be successful at your business.
Right. And if I can just add to that, I've seen so many businesses, startups, go out and download business plans through Google or some other site. And it's a very vanilla business plan with no substance. Please don't do that. There's so many programs out there that will help you develop your business plan, add substance to it, and to make it competitive. And what I mean by make your business plan competitive, make it so that a lender will not turn you down. That make it so that a lender will say, I want to invest in this business, whether it's a family member, conventional lending, opportunities, but do not go to the website and download a vanilla business plan and then convert it to your use without adding some substance to it, personalizing it, making it very personal to you.
Go ahead, Angela.
Yes, so in adding to that, I definitely concur with Adam, and I know it's very natural for us to Google those things, and we're not saying don't do it completely, but if you do it, then still come to NAVGA, still come to GMEN. Let us review it for you. And clearly we have people through our programming who have been lenders in the past. We have another one of our technical assistance providers who has been lending for other companies for a very long time, the betterment of 20 to 30 years. So she knows what the bankers are looking for. If you get into our system and meet with her, she's going to tear it apart, but she's going to tear it apart, first of all, for free, because that's what this program is all about. But second, she's going to give you the information that you need in order for, as Adam said, that lender to not want to say no to you, because it is a solid piece of information that you're sharing. And so we just want to be that second set of eyes, hold your hand through it so that you can get to the yes, because you're going to have no's, and we understand that. But if you hold the hand of someone who's been there or who makes those decisions, you're going to get a yes a little bit quicker. And that's what we're here for.
So Angela, before you log back off, can you tell us the fees for the NAVGA program? How much does it cost to register and to get assistance with the NAVGA program? Talk about that for me real quick.
Thank you for asking. And I'm going to tell you what it's going to cost you. It's not going to cost you dollars, but it is going to cost you commitment. It is going to cost that if one of our technical providers asks you to do some homework, that you do it. Because what we cannot do is we can't do it for you, because when we're gone, who's going to maintain your business? So what we want to do is walk you through it, give you the tools that you need, give you a roadmap, give you a template, and you learn while you have us how to do, and then you'll continue to do it for yourself. So I will say a lot of times when you go to our website and you register, we're asking you a lot of questions. And let me tell you why. We're asking these questions because we are funded by the federal government. And that government has said, GMEN, will you be the boots on the ground in the state of Georgia to help Georgians get better, I guess, increase their businesses? And so we need to be able to ask demographic information to show the SBA that we are doing what we promised them that we would do. So I want to take this time to ask you to be gentle with us, because if it were not for the SBA, we would not be able to provide these services free to you. Everyone that's on this call is being paid, but we're being paid by the SBA so that you don't have to, okay? So be gentle with all of our partners, because we're going to ask some questions, but it's to help you. And what better way to get your business off the ground, or to increase or to scale your business? If you heard Gideon say he's taken people from 300,000 to 3 million, that's huge. Do you know what people pay to get that type of service? I don't know that I could afford him, but today you can afford him because we have this program available to you. So the short answer is it's free, but it's going to cost you some sweat. It's going to cost you some equity. It's going to cost talking. It's going to cost you doing your homework.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we have a question from Nikki Arsenal. Nikki says, do you have financial advice for legacy business owners who were hit hard by the pandemic and are at a crossroads in terms of what to do next? Should they sell, change course, etc.? Who wants to jump on that first?
I'm going to jump on that only because I talked a little bit about it earlier. We had a legacy business in Albany, Georgia, who definitely was hard hit by the pandemic and had trouble paying their payroll. And they had extended themselves in terms of their credit, their business credit, their family credit, their personal credit. And so the CDFI that's in that area, Albany Community Together, was able to provide them gap financing. And they were able to look at all of the things that they were dealing with and just do some work on their end. And I cannot even begin to tell you the amount of hours that went into reviewing those documents, looking at the lenders that they had, and being able to consolidate that, as well as provide some gap funding to help them make it the rest of the way. They're still working on it. So it's not a one and done. It is a relationship that has been built. And so I'm excited to know that that company is still in business, still doing work in Albany, and is increasing as they get better, as they're not having to pay those exorbitant APR costs to return those funds to the help. So that's just one of the things that our consortium is able to do. And Gideon may have more information, and so would Adam, but working with our group who has the financial expertise to walk you through is something that we do offer, and I'm very glad to say it's a success story for us and for that business in Albany.
Awesome. Adam, did you want to add on anything?
I was just going to echo what Angela mentioned, and I would say from a legal standpoint, I won't give legal advice, but from a legal standpoint, there's so many things you can do with legacy businesses. I mean, you can, of course, go out and seek funding to get some gap support to help you maintain the business through some difficult times. But there are also other ways that things that you can do with a legacy business. You can consider selling. And sometimes you need funding to sell. I mean, I know that's weird, but sometimes you need funding to sell. And so I would, encourage you to consider all of the opportunities that are out there when you're considering, dealing with a legacy business, whether you're buying one or whether you're selling one. But from a financial standpoint, there are gap funding opportunities that are out there for you.
Awesome. And on that selling part, you have to have your documents together before you can sell your business. So if you need that assistance, make sure you get with someone, a consultant, or get in somebody that can direct you, and make sure that you have your financial documents in order. Adam, we are, let's see, right at maybe 13 minutes left. Adam, could you talk about the other technical resources that GMEN has available?
Sure.
That are free to the community?
Sure.
And
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I failed to mention this at the very beginning. GMEN's an organization that's been in existence over 25 years. And in fact, the organization is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year with a number of activities that will take place in September. So I encourage you to stay in tune with us, review our website on a daily basis just to see what activities that will take place throughout the month of September. But in addition to the NAPGA program, there's the TAP 2 program that's a partnership with Invest Atlanta. That's very similar to the NAPGA program where businesses come to GMEN through that TAP 2 program, and we provide technical assistance, providing startups, small businesses, entrepreneurs on any and everything from some legal issues, organizational issues, workforce issues, marketing, technology. And so we are really in the forefront of helping startups, small businesses to help their businesses develop and grow. And we do that through that technical assistance support that we provide, to those businesses. We're also considering, and we'll eventually roll out, as Angela mentioned earlier, a loan program where we will offer loans to small businesses. And we will eventually have some information available to you for that. I'm hopeful within the next 30 days. So stay in tune with us and check in with our website. So those are things that we're doing. We're going to do more. We have so many other programs. Again, it's a matter of checking with our website, but the NAPGA program, as well as the TAP 2 program, as well as the forthcoming loan program, are things that you can kind of get involved with right now.
And GlenNeta, if I could just share with you, like you mentioned, TAP 2, GMEN, Adam, but the areas that we provide technical assistance through the NAVGA program is within business development, contracts and procurement, marketing and advertising, strategic planning, some financial planning, some legal assistance, as well as some information technology assistance that we use internally with the programming of GMEN through GoDaddy, Empower with GoDaddy. So we provide some of that as well.
Awesome, awesome. And I'm going to answer a question from Eric Scott, but Gideon, I'm coming to you next because I want you to talk about the upcoming trainings and webinars that you are bringing to the community and to GMEN. So Eric Scott, hi Eric. Has there been any discussion on business management? Lots of businesses have shut down due to poor management practices. Yes, they have. So would anyone like to jump in and talk about business management?
Well, I'll take a stab at it. I think through our NAVGA programs as well as the TAP 2 programs, those programs help with some level of business management, helping you to sustain your business, to manage your business accordingly. It's not, they're not opportunities where we're going to have all of the answers, but there's certainly technical assistance provided for you to kind of help you get back on track. And to help you in some way stabilize areas of your business so that you're able to maintain it accordingly. And then there are other programs out there, other community-based programs that I would encourage you to consider as well for opportunities to help you manage your business. I'm of the opinion that, if you're a small business, an entrepreneur, and you've had some bumps in the road over the past year and a half, take advantage of the free opportunities that are out there to help you with your business. There's so much free programs and opportunities that will help you in whatever ways you need them. You just got to seek them out. Don't give up at all. Don't give up, because there's so much out there to help you with your business, and I encourage you to do that.
Awesome. Angela, would you talk about the weekly newsletter? Because that has a lot of information in it that everyone should be tuning in live for, and then also joining the GMEN community so that they could get those events. Would you talk about what the newsletter is and how it works?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. So every week, Wednesday at 3 p.m., we being GMEN, has a virtual newsletter. It's something that occurred during the pandemic when we weren't able to meet in person. And so we found a way to make sure that you knew about the free resources around the state of Georgia that might be available to you as an entrepreneur or a small business. So on yesterday, our host is Miss Nikki Arsenal, and she just shares a plethora of information. Again, Adam mentioned all of the different programs that exist within GMEN, as well as some of the programming that happens out of NAVGA. I've taken the time to put in a calendar of the events for August, this being Black Business Month, the offerings within NAVGA. They're much more than that, just that may be available to you outright. But one of the things that can happen is if you come to our webinars, you may very well meet one of our technical assistance providing consultants, and you already have an opportunity to have a one-on-one counseling with them, having attended the webinar, understanding now what are the questions I need to ask. Okay, now I know what to ask a counselor, because you don't know what you don't know. So the online newsletter just provides to you an information around the state of free resources. We don't always talk about resources that you have to pay for, but we do talk about free resources in the state of Georgia for small businesses.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And we have about 5 minutes left. So if you have any final questions, please go ahead and put it in the Q&A. Gideon, I am coming to you. I would love for you to tell them about the amazing trainings and webinars that you are bringing to the GMEN community.
Excellent. So thank you so much, GlenNeta. So what I will be doing is a monthly seminar on strategy, business strategy, because many times people have a great idea and they run, feet first into the idea, and you could still become successful. There's no monopoly on great ideas. There's no monopoly on how to be successful. However, there are some proven things that make you successful for exponential growth. And whenever you're thinking about starting a business, you have to think, how can I exponentially grow this product or this service? And part of that is by talking about your vision, because without a vision, and this leads directly to the business plan that Adam was so eloquently referring to, is that without a vision, without a roadmap, without a guidepost, it's very difficult to find success without knowing where you're going to do and how to, you know, jump the hurdles that you're going to come across through running a business. And so that's what largely I'm going to talk about, is the strategy, and use my financial background to help individuals understand. I helped a company called Meaningful Gigs. They go from zero to now they're valued at $30 million. They were able to raise $6 million for various different avenues. I helped them gain that. And part of that is really understanding who they were and who they wanted to be, and expressing that to the marketplace, and expressing that to the institutional investors, and expressing that to their clients. And so that's fundamental in how you need to look at your business, is who you want to be and how we're going to get there.
Awesome. And just please make sure if you go to Facebook and follow Georgia Micro Enterprise Network. We post there every single week and sometimes every single day. We have so much going on. So you can follow on all social media, on Twitter and on Instagram. And every time these events are coming up, and they are usually free, they're all free, guys, to the community. So just make sure you're there and you're connecting and staying connecting and following NavGA as well. Their social media is welcome to NavGA. And that way we can make sure that you're getting the information as it's coming out. So I'm going to go around real quick and just get like a final motivational message from everybody. Angela, I'm going to start with you, and then Adam, and then Gideon. Just give us a final motivational message for these amazing business owners and entrepreneurs, just to help them get over that hurdle and just let them know it's going to be all right, y'all.
I love that. And so thank you again. Thank you everyone for coming. And so what my motivational message is something I have to tell myself, every day. And that is, start today. You did something today towards your business. You got on this call. That's huge. So continue, do something every day toward making your business grow. And this is the one that GlenNeta likes from me. Be willing to be coached. We don't know everything. You don't know everything. So be willing to be coached.
Right. That's a great segue into what I want to say, and I'll be brief. There are going to be many doors closed for you. Don't ever give up. If one door is closed, go to the next one. Go to the next one until you finally find that door that's going to open, and it's going to open for you and give you an opportunity that you didn't dream about. And so just stay the course and continue to fight and find the opportunity that's going to work for you, and find that investor, find that lender who's going to take pride and who is interested in what you're doing and will help you reach the level that you're trying to reach. So stay the course.
Awesome. Gideon?
Yes, I would love to piggyback on both of those statements and say, a study was done in the 1960s of men and women who wanted to be in med school and who had been rejected at least one time. And they found that the only variable that led the individuals who had been rejected one time from being a doctor and going to medical school that was significant was persistence. So those who applied 6, 7 times and still got rejected were the ones who ended up being a doctor and being successful. So if you want to be successful at anything, unfortunately, you're going to hear no 90% of the time. And your job is to get as many no's as possible, because that means that yes is right around the corner. So, I look forward to assisting you in any way, and I look forward to seeing your amazing businesses grow exponentially.
Awesome. And you can contact everyone on this panel through the GMEN website, gmen.org. We've already placed that in the chat. My final message, Angela, I guess I really do like your quote because I'll put one very similar because we always talk about this, but it's one from Zig Ziglar. It's if you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you are not determined to learn, no one can stop you. So if I really, really love that because you just have to be willing to get help, y'all. So don't forget to ask for help if you need it. Let me just say this. We have another panel that is coming up. It's 1 o'clock on the dot. I'm about to get y'all out of here. The next panel that we have, we're going to do this every single month, September 15th, 12 to 1. Again, grab your lunch and ask your questions. September 15th is going to be back to basics, the essentials you need to start and grow your business, which was triggered by a conversation that we had. It was like, oh, this is needed. So we're going to get back to basics. This replay will be on our YouTube channel. So you have to go to Georgia Micro Enterprise Network. You have to subscribe to the channel, and then you can watch it over and over again and stop it and pause it and get all the great information again. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Does anybody need to say anything else before we go? No, do y'all want to unmute for me and say bye to everybody? Y'all, thank y'all for being here so much. Thank you for your support, and we are here to support you guys as well. So that's it, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your week and have an amazing weekend. Bye, guys.
Thanks, GlenNeta.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.